Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Amukoya Anangwe, who is Musalia Mudavadi, head of defunct presidential secretariat, is giving conflicting statements on the power sharing deal at Kenya Kwanza. And this is conflicting an initial statement that was given by Cleophas Malala last Thursday. And I know many of us might have missed that statement. After Cleophas Malala held a closed-door meeting with William Ruto last Wednesday in Nairobi, and in that meeting, Boni Khalwale decided to cede ground so that Cleophas Malala could be the Kenya Kwanza governor candidate in Kakamega County. They went on a rally the following day on Thursday. And in that rally, as one of what was seen as a strategy to try to convince the Mulembe nation that Kenya Kwanza was the best political outfit for them, Cleophas Malala mentioned that the ANC and Ford Kenya had negotiated for 30% of the government in any case that Kenya Kwanza forms the next government. And the 30% share is something that was said in the rallies. Now, the details of the 30%, according to Malala, was that they negotiated for 7 cabinet secretaries, 16 principal secretaries, and 126 chairman posts for the statutory boards. In this, they have not mentioned anything on maybe the ambassadorial posts and also the contentious Runningmate post that we are actually told that Musalia Mudavadi is salivating for. Before we look at this contradiction, because in this video I want to mention why this narrative was floated. It's subjective. But before that, is it practical for the Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula two parties to be given 30% in Kenya Kwanza? And is it given in terms, the framework, or is it the political parties, or that one is belonging to the Luhya nation? That is something that is another question. Secondly, is that how possible is it if they are given 30%? So does this mean that they are not going to be given the running mate? That is the question. Number 2, so what does the rest of the country take if the two of them, if maybe we say the Luhya nation is taking the 30% from Kenya Kwanza, what does the rest of the team in Kenya Kwanza take? What about Central, the Rift Valley, Nyanza? What about the coast? What about Northeastern and the rest of the country? So this conversation was there. But I want to understand that I think there is nothing much to read from Cleophas Malala, because for him, he was making a statement in what is normally said, you say what the people want to hear. And I know the question was, when he met with the DP Ruto and DP Ruto gave him the leeway, tried to subdue Boni Khalwale to go for Senate so that Malala will actually flag the governor ticket. The question was, did that mean that he betrayed Musalia Mudavadi's running mate push? That is the question. Now, yesterday, in a press briefing in Kakamega, Professor Amukoya Anangwe dismissed the statement by Cleophas Malala, saying that the negotiations have just started between UDA, ANC, and Ford Kenya. And remember, there are still other parties that are also involving the Chama Chakazi by Moses Kuria, the Kadwa Sili from the coast have also joined, and a host of other political parties that are in the Kenya Kwanza. So the point here is this: why do you think this narrative of the Luhya stake in Kenya Kwanza was actually floated by Cleophas Malala? Now, one thing you need to give Malala is, I think he has already cut himself a niche around Musalia Mudavadi. I think I want to be convinced today that if you go and do opinion poll in Kakamega, or if Malala and Mudavadi were in a presidential ballot and the voting population is in Kakamega, I think Malala can even get more votes than Mudavadi. What I'm simply saying is that he has already got some popularity by trying to just taking around Musalia Mudavadi, and more importantly, tailoring Mudavadi to William Ruto. Now, why do you think that was needed? And why are they denying the 30% push? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to humbly request you, kindly subscribe to our channel and also like our video. More importantly, there is also the notification bell on top of the subscription button. Kindly click that bell so that when we publish a video, you will always be getting the notification. And you can also give us your feedback on why do you think the power sharing deal conversation was floated immediately after by Cleophas Malala. This was coming at a time when something was happening. Cleophas Malala was issuing a demand after what I want to believe that the deputy president might have told him right in the face that the running mate is going from central Kenya, so they are going to negotiate the rest of the government. So what I feel here is that Malala was just delivering a message to the Kenya Kwanza fraternity that in the event that Musalia Mudavadi is not going to be William Ruto's running mate, they need 30% of the government. Or what could it be? Because this is now latest coming. Initially, he had mentioned that because ANC and UDA are in political parties coalition, the running mate needed to go to Musalia Mudavadi. But that after that, it caused an uproar on the other side of Mount Kenya, and he was summoned by deputy president. And after that, he mentioned that the issue of the running mate is neither here nor there. So this was issuing a demand, and I think Musalia Mudavadi himself is issuing a demand that, look here, if we are not going, I'm not going to be your running mate, then we need 30% of the government. Secondly, the issue of what lawyers are getting in Kenya Kwanza, the narrative of benefit, is a conversation that is being brought so that it can be it can sink in with what Azimio stands to benefit. If I listened, I watched this the article that was capturing this by the Star, and Professor Amukoya Anangwe is asking a very pertinent question. That in Kenya Kwanza, Luhya, the Luhya nation is at the negotiation table. So what about in Azimio la Umoja? Who is in Azimio la Umoja that is representing the interest of the Luhya nation? That is what he's asking. And I think the answer is might be there. I want to feel that even though Oparanya, they were talking in Kakamega, and that is trying to hit Oparanya, but Oparanya is also confined more in ODM, but is also a member of Raila Odinga's presidential campaign strategy. But I think in terms of power sharing, the interest of Luhya nation is only captured by Raila Odinga in ODM party. So what they are only trying to do here, I think, is trying to outsmart ODM by saying that the interest of the Luhya nation is only taken care by ODM in the larger Azimio, but in the Azimio table, the Luhya is not there. So that was a narrative to outsmart ODM. Secondly, I think by Malala saying publicly, giving the numerical articulation of the share, when you're saying 126 chairman posts in statutory boards, 16 principal secretaries, this was a catch to entice back defectors in the party, because ANC was actually rocked by massive exodus from the party after the 23rd January earthquake event at Bomas of Kenya. So what Malala and Mudavadi, the deal that I want to feel they hatched, was to convince the fellas that might have left the party, feeling like it do not have a stake in Kenya Kwanza, that they also stand to benefit, and even in any case they might not win the seats through ANC because of stiff competition, they still stand to get something from ANC when they form the government. That is the second bit. And this is very critical. The Cleophas Malala and Musalia Mudavadi, or let me just say Cleophas Malala, wants to outsmart the rest of the politicians in Kakamega. Fernandez Baraza is just seeking the governor candidate through ODM, and Boni Khalwale is just seeking the Senate in UDA. What Malala is doing is very strategic, and I think it's a credit on his side. He's trying to portray himself, or let me not portray, but thrust himself as a key negotiator that is going to ensure, that is at the negotiation table to ensure that whatever is going to be given to the Luo nation, he's the person who is going to decide. Now, this is of interest because when you get to the campaign trail, you need to have variables when you are doing your manifesto or when you are doing your political messaging. So what he is likely to tell the voters in Kakamega is that he's not just seeking his governor's seat as his personal interest, but he also has the Kakamega interest at heart. And that is why he is part of the negotiation table on what goes to the Luo nation. So what he's doing here by coming out to say, we have negotiated for this, he's simply saying that he is at that table. Now, that is above the rest of the competitors in Kakamega. That is above Paranya, that is above, according to him, that is above Boni Khalwale and even Fernandez Baraza, who is seeking the governor's seat through the ODM party. So according to him, when he does that, it's going to elevate himself to high standards so that he can package his information very well. The punchline in this, at the end of the day, is this. Musalia Mudavadi is simply saying that if I am not going to be the running mate, then I need 30% of the government. Now, the dismissal by Professor Mkoya Anangwe, he just dismissed the fact that there was a 30% push. But what he's also saying is that the negotiations are going on. The fact that negotiations are going on makes me to believe that you cannot wish away what Cleophas Malala is actually saying. And I want to believe even in the meeting that was held between him and Khalwale to strike that deal, part of the conversation there is that issue of the running mate. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think that the power sharing deal, in your honest opinion, was floated at this time, when we all know that negotiations, according to Professor Mkoya Anangwe, are going on?